although perhaps not grounded in reality. Traveling across oceans had allowed me to explore the world and taste exotic pastries like Taiwanese buns with dried jujubes and traditional star plum pastries from Finland. My palate expanded with every bite at each new port of call. I credit my years on the Amour of the Seas for making me the chef I am today. Yet, when I left it behind, I never looked back. From the moment my feet hit the pavement in Ashland, I knew I was home. That changed a few weeks ago when Carlos called out of the blue and begged me to fill in. The ship's pastry chef had stormed off in a huff, leaving the kitchen in a lurch. At first I had resisted the idea, but the timing had been perfect. Plus, Carlos had offered an all-expenses-paid vacation for Mom and the professor. A week at sea under the tropical sun had been just what the doctor ordered for all of us. I got some much-needed clarity on my relationship and future with Carlos, and the professor finally popped the question, getting down on one knee under a glowing sunset to ask for Mom's hand in marriage. Every time I replayed his romantic proposal in my head, my eyes began to mist. Being back on the Amour had been a reminder of the life that I'd left behind. I didn't harbor any ill will toward my memories or my years spent sailing on calm, azure waters, nor did I regret Mary and Carlos. What I had come to understand, though, was that it was possible to love more than one person or thing. I knew that my heart belonged in Ashland, even if Carlos would always hold a piece of it. It was time to let go of the past, even if that meant saying goodbye to Carlos. The ache of leaving him this time felt different. I knew that things were shifting, and I was ready to dive headfirst into my life here. For starters, that meant focusing on the task at hand, preparing vats of homemade soups, breads, and sweets for the incoming crowds. I tugged off my coat, grabbed an apron from the rack next to the espresso bar, and headed for the kitchen. In addition to gearing up for the busy season, we were in the middle of a major expansion. The basement property beneath the bakeshop had recently come on the market, and Mom and I had decided there was no time like the present to take the plunge. While we were on the cruise, the first phase of construction had begun. The space had been waterproofed by adding special drainage and shoring up the foundation. With that project complete, we could now turn our attention to the fun part, designing a state-of-the-art kitchen. Our current plan was to roll the remodel out in stages. The next step involved gutting the current floor plan to make room for an industrial kitchen and small seating area. Once that was complete, baking operations would move downstairs. Then we would knock through the current kitchen, add stairs, and expand the coffee bar and dining room. I was most excited about the open kitchen concept that the architect had drafted. We had discovered a massive brick oven that would serve a dual purpose, baking wood-fired pastries and pizzas, and offering a cozy spot for guests to watch our team of bakers at work and nibble on buttery croissants. For the past week, I'd woken up in the middle of the night dreaming about pulling beautiful charred crusts and bubbling ramekins of macaroni and cheese topped with applewood bacon from the new oven. It all penciled out on paper, but I was nervous about how everything would come together and keeping the contractors on track. But with one glance at our current kitchen, I knew whatever stress this project brought would be worth it. We had reached maximum capacity in the current space. If we wanted to expand our offerings and continue taking so many special orders for weddings and catering, we had to have more square footage. One task at a time, Jules, I told myself, as I fired up our shiny new ovens, which would eventually be repositioned downstairs, and studied my to-do list on the whiteboard. There were wholesale bread orders, 4 custom cakes, 2 corporate pastry orders, and the daily torte menu to complete. I quickly sketched out a plan of attack. Stephanie, our pastry protégée, and Bethany, our newest recruit, could tackle the bread and corporate orders. I would work on the custom cakes. Sterling, our chef in training, would be responsible for soup and sandwiches, and Andy would man the espresso counter. Fortunately, Mom had decided to scale back a bit to focus on wedding plans.